Hi and welcome back to South London Repair. Today we're gonna take a look on this Western Digital Elements hard drive. This is using a USB 3 connection and it's very often coming to us for data recovery. So first we're gonna take out from the case. Once you're losing up the clips, it's quite easy to take apart the plastic case, and finally we can get a good look on the drive. Now, if you connect it and you can hear a clicking sound, then probably the best if you not try to do this at home, because you have to open the drive in a relatively clean environment. It doesn't need a clean room, but it needs a clean equipment which is cleaning the air so you can take apart. In this case, it was not the issue. Actually, I heard the motor spinning up, but nothing else. So in most common cases, in that the USB connection is the problematic part, and many times it's not making a good connection on the data line, so it's got power, but it cannot communicate properly with the computer. So I'm taking a closer look. Now many times from this angle you can see like hairline cracks. In that case you just have to resolder it, maybe fix the traces, and you're good to go for a good backup. But I couldn't see anything. Alright, maybe the best if we not believe everything what the customers say, but we take a look ourselves. Sometimes the cable is a culprit, so I take my own cable, which I know definitely is work. I'm checking and it looks like it's making a firm connection, so that part is good. Let's hook it up. Sorry about the camera, when it can't find the focus, it's going haywire. Alright, let's see what's going on. Let's get a picture on the desktop. Okay. So it's a good sign actually, it's communicating with the computer. We can see it's recognize it. But the disk management is just hanging on. So this is where actually you can assign a letter. If the partition is there, it's just the Windows doesn't show up. I try to use a few Western Digital software. Unfortunately, I didn't know the Western Digital Elements is not supported with this anyway, so it's not gonna recognize it. But even when I later on used the right one, didn't make any difference. It recognized it, it couldn't do anything about that. Alright, so we're gonna take a closer look and continue with the visual inspection. Now, because on the bottom you can't see anything, we have to take that apart. For that one, you're just using a normal Torx screwdriver. These screws are not non-magnetic, so try not to lose them. They're not gonna stick to the screwdriver, and many times they are very well screwed in, so they're gonna sometimes it's hard to remove it, so you need a good screwdriver. All right. I almost forgot the last one. Let's gently lift it up and gather all the screws. With a microscope we can get a closer look. First we're gonna check the connector. Now from this angle you can see immediately any little cracks, but this one looks perfect to me. So we're gonna take a closer look on the closest components. I have seen when something is blew up, but I can't see nothing here.
To set up your device using a screen reader, turn on the racer by pressing Windows and Control and Enter. For more accessibility.
All right. Sorry, at the meantime, I had to run another 2 Windows installation on notebooks, so, you try to do many things at the same time. All right, so these are the data line filters. Same like with the, PlayStation HDMI port, or with the Nintendo Switch USB-C port. The point is, they basically almost zero or close to zero filter, so like zero resistor. They have to bypass, and obviously the lines doesn't connect to each other. But these are separated, so it's not a big problem there. On this one, it could be a problem. So it's have to bypass, but not crossover. This looks all right. Now I'm looking shorts to ground. And also I'm looking the capacitors. If I can see some suspicious colors, then we're gonna check that one as well. We are also checking the connectors, because obviously if these connectors are damaged, then yeah, we have an issue, isn't it? In that case, the heads, the motors are not connected properly. All right, again, we're just checking shorts on capacitors. If you found shorts here, then probably in most cases it's not the capacitor is the issue, it's the chip itself. Yeah, that's gonna be a diode. It's not shorted. Sometimes I touch a little bit more because sometimes on the connectors, on the capacitors, on the diodes, it's have a protective film layer, which is sometimes the probe is not get through. So just to make sure before you get a bad conclusion. So this is just a quick test. It's worth a shot. Now the USB chip is probably is good because that one is communicating with the computer. It's sending the information, but what's happening after? That's a different story. Because once the USB is connected, it's powering up, the firmware have to run the self-diagnostic first, make sure the motor is, sorry, at the moment I just try to check this capacitor. So try to make sure the motor is spin up properly, the head alignment is alright. And once all of these are good, it starts communicating properly with the computer and sending the various information about the partitions and everything else. Now this is where we stuck somewhere. So we don't know why. Oh, and before we going any really inside stories, we are not a data recovery company, so other companies probably doing a much better job and it's have a much better understanding than we have. But many cases, the issue is not that big and we can help out the customers instantly. We don't have to send them away and they don't have to pay the higher bill, unfortunately. So far, everything looks all right. Now, obviously, if the board is not communicating, as I said, with the head and the motor properly, then that could be an issue. So many times, the problem is just a little oxidation layer. So I'm gonna take a closer look and see what's going on. You can see on the golden surface where is the puncture marks, where is the board was connected. I can't see any discoloration from liquid. But I think it's the best idea if we get some deoxit and just go through on these connectors. In this case, we are not using the D100, just the D5. Basically, it's a 5% dioxide, and the rest is, I think, is alcohol, isopropyl alcohol, I mean, and that gonna just evaporate. It's very good to clean these contacts. It's doing a quick job. It only needs a few seconds, be honest. That's it. Oh, it's actually the gold version, sorry. So that one is special for gold surfaces. I think only one company selling the dioxide set in the UK. They have this set where you get 2 different sprays and a tiny bit from the different products and some cleaning swabs and all these things for around 40 quid maybe. And they also selling the D100 in a little flask. That one is cost around 40 quid as well, but be honest, it's good for a long term. So I am buying every 5 months maybe a new set. So yeah, it's a long term thing. So on the golden connectors, we're going through with the yellow cleaning solution, which is the normal one. I'm just using the D5, which is doing the job properly. That one is red. If you have any, like recently somebody bringing liquid damage connector on a CCTV camera, it's cleaning up in a minute really nicely, and it's after it's made a nice connection, so it's doing miracles. And before you say something, so we are not affiliated with the Exit company. Unfortunately, we're paying for it. We just love it. All right, time to put it together and make a test. If it's gonna work, then yeah, the customer is gonna be very happy. If it's not gonna work, then we're gonna continue with the second part and go a little bit further. When you put back the screws, because they are non-magnetic, is the easiest way, just using a tweezer, a bended one. Just place it in the right position and after just screw it in. This is much easier than play around with a hand and the screwdriver. Is just, yeah, it's just easier. Oh, by the way, this is the tweezer what we are using for, if you saw the other videos when we repairing the PS5 HDMI port, this is what I'm using to test the pins. It's very pointy, a little bit bended, and the brand is Weller, an old brand. If you had a good solder iron in the last 50 years, then probably you're familiar with the brand, and they're making very good tools. And these tweezers are dirt cheap from RS Components. You buy them basically, so it looks a little bit costly, but you get 10 in a pack. So usually I buy a 50. So when I mess up one because I press a little bit harder, I just replace it quickly. All right, let's take another look and hope in the best, isn't it? If I find my cable. Now, when you're doing data recovery for customers, I recommend always to try to tell them what are they looking for. Because from a 1 terabyte hard drive, if you running data recovery software, sometimes you get back like 12 terabyte information. It's crazy, I know. And most of them is gonna be messed up 5 fragments. But really, if you know what are you looking for, it's much easier. So, dear customers, please try to cooperate and give as much information as you can. It's make our job much easier, and your cost gonna be less, basically. All right. Yeah. So nothing changed. So see you in the second part. We're gonna continue from here. Thanks for watching. Subscribe and like. Bye.